Right. Welcome to the Spoiler Kings movie review podcast. My name's Tankcramer, and I'm with Will. How you doing, man?
What's up? Doing great. Doing great.
Yeah. I like your background, your San Andreas background.
Has a little bit to do with the movie. A little bit.
Yeah, a lot, a lot, a lot to do with the movie. So this week we are reviewing Free Guy, which is the new Ryan Reynolds movie. I think it got postponed a few times because of COVID. I don't know when the original date was, but that's kind of like everything is has been pushed back.
Everything.
But cool, man. So you can only catch this one out in theaters, right? They decided not to do the whole streaming thing with it, which I was kind of surprised. So before we get into the trailer, I don't know. What do you think? You think a movie like this is going to save the theaters, or it's still too early to tell?
Do I think? I'm sorry. One more time. Do I think it's going to stay only in theaters?
Or you think it's going to save? Is Ryan Reynolds going to save movie theaters?
Oh, yes. Very charismatic person. He has a range that is far beyond anything I can imagine as an actor. So yes, he is someone that will get you to go back. If he could play the voice of Pikachu and freaking Deadpool and do all these crazy things and make you want to see him more and more and more and not get discouraged, then he might be the guy to make you bring a mask to the theater. Who knows?
I think so too. I think he's and he knows a lot of people, which we're gonna get into in a little bit. Yes. But cool, man. You want to check out this trailer?
Yeah, let's check it out. See what's it about.
Cool. Pull this up. All right. So, Free Guy is when a bank teller discovers he's actually a background player in an open world video game, also called an NPC, non-playable character. He then decides to become the hero of his own story and one that he can rewrite himself. So, in a world where there are no limits, he is determined to save the day his way before it's too late, and maybe find a little romance on the way. Of all of who conceived him, that's what it says. Maybe find a little romance of the coder who conceived him. That's really a weird synopsis. I just read it off of the one that they wrote out for it.
That's okay.
That's a weird one. I don't know, because he obviously doesn't know certain things, and he finds out as the movie progresses. But he's also a good guy, like legit good guy. I think he has to level up to become stronger, but he doesn't do it the traditional kind of GTA way. He becomes a good guy, and people fall in love with him for that. So man, we'll get into more of the details. So that was just a weird synopsis. I should have read it before, like read it to myself before I actually going into it. But yeah, it's basically he's in a video game, and he starts to learn he is in a video game, which is kind of a weird idea to just throw around. But
true.
We want to talk about some of the good and the bad and our thoughts about all of this stuff.
Yeah. Some of the good stuff in the film. I did like the characters. Lil Ray Howery was someone that was kind of like a sidekick to Ryan Reynolds' character. His name is Guy. Ryan Reynolds' character's name is Guy, and so he was nice. He was like the relief comedy. He also made you care about him. Like, I didn't want him to get deleted. And spoiler alert, we might have some deletions in this movie if you try checking it out. Yeah. But I really liked Channing Tatum making an appearance, and he was just hilarious.
It took me a while to figure out that was him, but yeah, I agree.
So I'm not a Channing Tatum fan by any means necessary. I really think he's one of the shittiest actors. Even today, as far as he's progressed, he's still like a subpar actor. And no hate to him. It's just he ain't got it. He got the looks, and that's what maybe he drives off. But in here, his whole like persona of the same thing or character he plays in every movie, it worked in this film. So that was kind of cool. Oh,
Yeah.
we got a hair somewhere nearby. Anyways, yeah, I liked him. He has a really small part, but he makes a really key um, action in the movie where he gives Ryan Reynolds like some footage or some code, and that
Yeah.
helps for the progression of the story. Another kind of person I really liked, and I kind of hope he does more stuff because I'm used to him being in Stranger Things. Is Joe Keery's character? He
Oh,
plays Keys.
yeah.
I don't know, man. I really wasn't expecting a lot for this movie, but from the comedy and seeing the dude guy, that was hilarious when he said
Oh man.
catchphrase.
Because he's dumb because he's half made, like he's not fully created. So
Yeah,
they throw him in the game, and that was hilarious. That was so funny. Like he didn't have a catchphrase, so he just said catchphrase.
yeah, as like a as a placeholder, I guess. In the
Yeah.
code.
Oh man, that's
That's really
that's
good.
that's funny.
Um,
That's
I, I
funny.
I liked a lot of the little jokes. I like that they reference Marvel in this film.
Oh, that was epic.
You think you can explain some of that? Like, how did we get a Marvel reference in this film? Is this
I
film even like in the Marvel universe, or like how does this?
No,
How
it's a
did it?
Fox film, and Fox was bought
Oh,
out by Disney.
there it is.
So I don't know if maybe it was added on later or they were kind of already in the talks and stuff like that. But I think it's kind of this is the shit that happens when one company owns everything.
Yeah.
They own Star
Okay.
Wars reference in there. They own Marvel
Yeah.
reference in there.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
Okay.
I mean that was kind of a thing. But yeah, it was.
That's
I thought that was
badass.
epic. That was so super. They even had the music. Like the
Yeah.
music was the same,
Legitimate.
which I was like, oh man. I was like, yep. I'm like, I guess that's the fun you can have.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't see fucking Deadpool. I was at one point. I'm like, all right, he's got to walk by, right? I mean, maybe he does, and we miss it. But I'm like, he's got to be in this movie, right? I mean, this is Ryan Reynolds, and
As a
Deadpool's his
background
baby.
character.
Yeah,
You said?
something, or like somebody has a skin as Deadpool, something
That
like
would be
that.
nice.
That
What'd
would
you
have
like
been yeah,
about the
pretty funny.
film? What kind of stood out to you with this one?
I like Shannon Tatum as well. It threw me off. I don't love Shannon Tatum. I do agree he's a crappy actor or crappy-ish actor, but like if he finds movies that play to his strong part, well, the goofy, funny stuff,
Yes.
he's amazing in it. 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street are amazing films because he's a goofball. And in
Yes.
this one, again, he's a goofball. Like he starts doing all the stupid dances and stuff. I'm like, of course he knows how to dance like that. He's a dancer, So
Right.
Magic Mike.
Professional.
So yeah. So it was like that was super funny. But the whole gimmick of he keeps like looking and talking to like a camera, and for Guy, he like peers in, he's like, who are you talking to? He's like, I'm talking to my viewers, and I'm like, that's freaking hilarious. It's
It
so
was.
good. It's like I just thought, and then the actual guy behind Channing Tatum is Matthew Cardopel, which he always plays like that nerdy kind of goofy character. I believe he was also in Lemony Snicket's what is that? The one
Uh,
with Neil Patrick Harris on Netflix.
any
I can't.
Snickers? No.
Yeah,
Nothing.
the only Lemony Snicket's like show. It's really good. I can't.
Okay.
I'm a brain fart. But he was in
Okay.
that too, where he also was kind of like a little like goofy, like he's funny. I always enjoy it. Unfortunate Events, a series of unfortunate events.
Damn it. Okay.
That's what he's in.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I thought it was just overall pretty funny. And same like you, I didn't know what quite to expect going into it. I was like, I know it'll be at least a goofy good time because it's Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Reynolds is kind of pretty good at that. And I really thought that like everything was really well done. Well done. The story was kind of good and everything. It was fun. It was fun. It's not gonna break any records for me or be my all-time favorite, but it was good. It was a good watch. Had fun, enjoyed. I think it was an hour 55 runtime, something like that, almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
So
pretty much.
Not too bad. So I know one thing we were talking about before we went live, which I kind of had to stop so we can really get into it, was I
Yes.
was going through the credits. Um, so obviously we know about the streamers. Like I know we were talking about. We got Pokimane, Jacksepticeye, Dan TDM was in it, Ninja was in it. You know, so you get some of the big ones in there. But there were actual like famous celebrities, like his friends were in it, and I didn't even know. Like I'm like, it says Dwayne Johnson. I'm like, he wasn't in it. And then I looked it up, and it was like, yeah, he was the voice of one of the guys who robs the bank.
No
Like
way.
one of the time. Yeah,
Shit.
Hugh Jackman is in it, and I'm like, where was Hugh Jackman? He was the guy in the alley in the beginning of the movie that gives her the little thing with the map, and she keeps putting the
Oh,
gun on him.
yeah.
But he's covered.
That
I was
was
like,
huge.
"Are you
Oh
serious?"
man. Yeah, yeah.
Like, only Ryan Reynolds would be like, "Oh, hey, this is my best friend. He's a huge actor. Hey, let's put him in a mask and change his voice or something stupid." I was like, "Come on, that's so stupid." And then also, John Krasinski was in it.
No wait, John Krasinski. Is that the same guy
John,
that
yeah,
plays Jim from The Office?
yeah, Jim from The Office. He was in it.
Was.
So there's a part where like they're talking to people in the real world kind of stuff, and they do like a silhouette kind of like old school where it's just a black figure talking. That's John Krasinski. Again.
Oh.
Again. It was like another famous guy that he just completely hides. And then
That's
the
dope.
one that got me was Tina Fey is also in this movie.
Which one
Yeah.
was she?
She's the mom vacuuming behind the guy who's playing Channing Tatum's character.
No way. That's
That's what it's like. That's what I had to look it up. Like, me and my girlfriend were like, I'm like, who,
Yo.
what, you know? And I'm like, oh, she's vacuuming mom. That's her. That's the role she plays.
That's
I'm
great.
like, she says two words, I think, and you don't see her face at all. You see like her back.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, vacuuming. That's.
Vacuuming
I was like, those are four huge stars that
yeah.
you were like, hey, you want to be in my movie? I'm not gonna show your face or anything, but and I was like, and I'm like, that's so silly. But I'm like, this is also the same guy who had Brad Pitt in Deadpool, who was an invisible man.
Yeah.
So you know,
Irony.
yeah, it's just I thought that was hilarious that he would do something like that. But that's like super like meta shit. Unless you watch the credits, like you would not have known, you know. And it was just
This
like
guy.
that was so stupid. But yeah, but besides that, man, I mean, Lil Ray, he's been in everything. He's been in a lot of stuff lately, right?
Yeah, he's out
Or is
there.
it just me? Yeah,
No,
he's
in
getting
everything. He's shaking the right hands out here. That's what he's doing.
Yes, seriously. But yeah, I mean, Jodie Comer was the Molotov girl, Millie. She was pretty good. And like you said, Joe Curry, whatever his name is from Stranger Things,
Yes.
he was pretty good. I like him in Stranger Things, but I don't know, man. He's always done like some weird kind of stuff. He was in that scary commercial for like Taco Bell. You remember that?
No.
Yeah, yeah. It's so silly. And then obviously Taika Waititi. He kind of the little bit he was in kind of stole the show for me because he's so funny, you know. And it was like he doesn't have any other voice. It's Taika Waititi, you know. So when I first hear it, the first thing I think of is Korg, you know, from Ragnarok, Thor Ragnarok.
Yep.
You know, it's like, even in Jojo Rabbit, it's Taika Waititi with a German trying to have a German accent, yeah.
Yeah.
But he still has that, you know, super hardcore New Zealand accent. So
Yes.
but yeah, Taika was really cool because he was just like that typical like gamer boss that doesn't know video games, but he's like evil crook kind of thing. So that was not too bad. But oh man, what else, man? Anything you didn't like about this movie? Some bad things?
Anything I didn't like about this movie? Something. Not that I didn't like it, but I wish they would have expanded more. And this is just me being a nerd here at Nerd Huddle. Why not? But I kind of wish they would have dug more into the AI part of Free Guy. Like, so to kind of give you an idea of what's going on in this movie, It's a not playable character. He gets self aware. That within itself is a crazy ass movie to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's nuts. That's so underplayed in this film, but it's done in a. I want to say in a on purpose because it's not focusing on that part. But I wish they would have just a little bit more touched on it because like it's amazing to have an AI or non-playable character get self-aware. To think about what needs to happen for that is just beyond me. It's beyond any coder. So if you know anything about coding and gaming, that's nuts. If you ever do have that, that's worth way more. Having that happen to you is worth way more than any video game can ever give you in sales.
Yeah.
It's literally
Which
like
I think that plays part of the movie though, too. It's like,
mhm. But
Millie.
yeah, what's his name?
and,
I can't say his name. Antoine, the
like,
boss.
uh,
He wanted to kill the only thing because he wanted sales from the retail stores.
yeah.
That bothered me. I'm like, do you not know? Which of course you were kind of pointed it out that he's the what's the word? The naive, boss that's just money hungry for
Yeah.
what he wants. He doesn't think big picture. But like,
Yeah.
it's a crazy phenomenon that like if you think about it, and I know you shouldn't overthink it, but if you're like me, you think, holy crap, that's crazy. Because he tried to even like get rid of like the servers, and I'll spoiler alert, but he tried to get rid of the servers to get rid of this guy because he hated
Yeah.
him so bad because of how viral he went on the internet. And yeah, I don't know, man. So I'm thinking like, how does this guy even live in this game? If he didn't get deleted, right? His self awareness didn't get deleted when they rebooted the servers. I know I'm digging in too much into this, but um, then that means that he lives like organically in the software, and I don't know how that works. So to kind of give you a picture, right?
Yeah.
Back then, let me kind of paint you what I'm talking about. Back then, video games came in cartridges, right? Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. How'd you save games? Well, back then, games used to have a little battery. Just little known fact, a little battery inside the game cartridge so that you can save your files because you need power to save files. You need power, some source of power. Then future games, right? And no one talks about this, but this is actually nuts. Future Game Boy Advance games, they started taking out that battery and they found a way to save data with low voltage. And if you don't know what low
Mm.
voltage is, it's the same
Hmm.
electricity that flows through a cable line to give you internet and TV. Can you touch that, cable line and it will electrocute you? No, it's low voltage, right? So if there's no power in that voltage and it's low voltage, how is this guy living? But they don't really touch on that. He was programmed by who? Do we get like an answer for that? Really?
I think technically Keys
Keys.
programmed
Okay.
him because that was part of the whole thing is he programmed him to literally fall in love with Millie, which is his
Yes.
partner. Because
Mm.
originally they tell you kind of a brief backstory, which I like that. Like, give me a brief backstory. I don't want 30 minutes of telling me this backstory, whatever, where Keys and Millie, they made a game called Free Life, I believe it was called.
Yes. Yeah.
And in this it was these characters were going to evolve and change and adapt and learn, blah blah blah, kind of become AI, self-aware kind of shit, which is
Mm.
kind of weird. And then it got bought out. Taika Waititi bought it out, and he used that game as the background, as the background for the GTA version that they're playing, with the crazy madness kind of stuff. So, but when he made, I think he even says it in the movie, he made Free Guy to fall in love with her. You know what I mean? Because secretly he was in love with her. Type of, obviously spoiler.
Yeah.
But so it was Keys who
Yes.
I guess created Guy. But it was more of a they did it like together. I guess they were like partners, Millie and Keys.
I guess more
But
specifically, what I'm confused is, I mean, that's fine that Keys made him, but Keys made him, right? And I kind of want to, like, I know as a nerd, I want to look at the code, like what made this guy tick, because there has to have been something in the code that makes him say like, oh, if he sees this, he learns this. If he yes, no, yes, no. All coding is zeros and ones. It's
yeah,
yes, yes, and no for a series of events that happen in a software.
Yeah.
So me as a nerd, I dig into that and I'm like, how the fuck? So he got reset on his server and he turned back to regular guy. He wasn't like self-aware guy.
Yeah.
And that just boggles my mind as a nerd. So I'm like,
Yeah.
huh? But it doesn't like
Yeah.
ruin the movie experience for me. It doesn't like
No.
make any
It-
plot
yeah.
holes. The movie flows. It flows great
Yeah.
from start to finish. There's no hiccups. There's no like, oh, I didn't like that. So like to answer your question, did I really have stuff that I didn't like? No. Like surprisingly. I
Yeah.
can't think of a single thing that really bothered me. It's just my mind working overtime. That's that
You
was
just want
bothering
to
me.
you want some Mythbusters to do if this is real type of stuff, huh?
Yes.
Because that is interesting. Because they do in the movie, they do like a quick little like, this is his program, and it's a little circle of like he does this and then does this, then does this, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a little spot, I guess, in this little circle that guy has that once he runs into Millie he sees her, it triggers it, and then that was like that circle, and then once it triggered,
Yeah.
it like separated like this like weird spider web where like
Yes.
all these different things started changing. I'm like, that was cool. So I don't know if it's like she was the catalyst of him becoming self-aware. That's what they kind of wanted to make you think, because
Yes. You know
like,
what?
I don't
You're
know,
totally right. You're totally right because the
but
kiss. Spoiler alert: the kiss. um, when they kissed, it triggers that as well.
yeah, the second time, yeah.
Second time at least.
Yeah. But even that was like super funny where they kiss for the first time, where she doesn't know he's an NPC yet, and he doesn't know he's in a video game. So it's like two people from two different worlds not knowing the other one's existence. So he kissed her, and I guess the character get into it, but then it zooms out like through the screen to actual Millie,
Yes.
and she's just sitting there with her
You're like,
headphones and her mic, kind of like and
good.
like I don't know, it was like that was just so funny where it took like a very like emotional kind of scene where like he kisses her for the first time and like he's falling in love, and it zooms out and it makes you realize like, oh yeah, this is still a video game,
Yes.
so it was just really good. And then right after that is when Keys comes in and tells her like, oh, blah blah blah, all this stuff, like Guy is AI, he's just not an NPC that has a little circle, like he's making decisions. And then and that's when she's like, oh, I kissed him. And then there was kind of a weird whole conversation between him, but that was kind of interesting. There's parts in it where Millie in the game is talking to Keys, who's not in the game, but like Guy is also in the conversation, which kind of threw me off. I was like, wait, how is he like saying, hey, hi Guy, through the screen? I was like, what? It was like, I don't know. But that's just like little random little things that I didn't really care, but it wasn't just Guy that was changing. It was everyone in the whole server, all the NPCs, because there was the coffee girl. Remember the coffee girl who only did coffee, 2 cups of sugar, whatever. She only knew how to make 1 cup of coffee. That's what everyone drank. Was like that style. And then when Guy asked her, he wanted a cappuccino. That shit was hilarious because everyone starts looking. The cop is like, "I'm gonna shoot you," But then you find out, like when Key is explaining, he goes, "Oh, the barista taught herself how to make a cappuccino," and I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting." So it's not just him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everyone was in their little circles until his broke, and then he was kind of opening up everyone else's mind, like the dude that his arms were up the whole time. I didn't notice that until like towards the end when he's walking around. That was so stupid.
That's what he's programmed to do. He's programmed to get robbed. Everyone in the whole video game world is programmed for their role and their role only, which is what a video game is. You know what this movie reminds me of? It reminds me of 3 movies jam-packed into one. And let me tell you which ones. You ready?
Well, let me guess one.
Oh, yes. Go ahead. This is a good one.
All right. Lego Movie?
No, surprisingly.
No? Oh, man. That's what I was getting. Man. That was the one I was really, really thinking. What are your 3?
So the 3 that make up this movie for me are I don't know if you've ever seen the movie. I think it's 2018 or no, it has been way longer than that. 2014 movie called Gamer with Gerard Butler.
Oh my yeah.
So
Oh
that
yeah.
mixed with the Truman Show, because
Yes. Truman Show.
and the third one,
100%.
Pleasantville. Just piggybacking off what you just said right now, the
Hmm.
one guy getting everybody else to get out of their programmed
I
state
didn't even
of
think
what's
about
supposed to
that.
happen. So, like, if
Yeah.
you ever seen the movie Pleasantville, it's an
Yeah.
old flick now. Wow, that makes me feel
And
old.
now it is.
It's so bad. It's an older flick now that pretty much stars Tobey Maguire and like, ooh, I forget her name, blonde chick from Legally Blonde. But anyways, both these two characters, they get sucked into like a TV world where it's like a TV show that they've known for the longest. It's like one of the oldies shows. And in there, they get the characters on there who all have scripts or they've all like done all these reruns of episodes. They get those characters to like blossom and like start to do things out of what they're programmed to do. So it
Mm,
reminded me of that as well. Pleasantville, the Truman Show, because a guy who
that
doesn't
was
know he's in a world of gaming or in a world of being controlled. And
yeah.
then in the movie Gamer kind of reminded me of that because um, everyone's controlling a video game character, and I don't know,
Yeah.
that was closest to it. But
I can see the Gamer for sure. Truman Show. I had a brain fart, but that was like one of those one thing me and my girlfriend were talking about was like oh, this is basically almost like Truman Show. You know, even like the whole water reference. You know, it's like he has to get on the other side of the water kind of thing. You know, same thing
yeah,
like Truman Show. So it was like very much so. But the beginning for me like was very much like the Lego movie. Like
I can see
you know,
that
it was
though.
like you had this guy that woke up, did his job every day. That was his job. Blah blah blah. Even the same thing with the song. You know, this had that
Oh,
one had everything is awesome. This one had I just had it in my head. I drew a blank because once I say the Lego movie, it's the only thing that plays in my head because it's so stupid. Like it gets stuck in your head.
so
Um,
gimmicky. Yeah.
but yeah, this one had that one song. It's what sweet something baby. Can't think of it.
Okay.
Um,
But yeah. I get you.
but yeah, so
Definitely
it
get
was
you.
like but that whole thing it just reminded me like woke up all giddy and stuff. It was like very. Then he sees the girl that he falls in love with. I was like, man, this is like very much like Lego Movie. At least the beginning part of it, you
Yeah.
know. But Truman Show, 100%. You know, a guy didn't know he's being watched by the world, you know, and
Yeah.
then realize it and wants to be free. You know, super cool. But Gamer, I can see that was kind of the same thing. And then what was the other one you said? Pleasantville. I didn't even think about Pleasantville,
Pleasantville.
but that is 100% true.
I only thought
100%
of
true with
that
that.
when Free Guy had the, like you said, the barista make something that she's never made before. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that sounds like Pleasantville. Like from Pleasantville, the scene that really drew me to that was when like the mom was in the bathtub and I don't know if she was like playing with herself or something. She explored her body, if you want to call it
Uh,
that. And that's what made her get her color because the whole film is in
ah,
black and white.
yeah.
So she did something that was not programmed into her general being. So she did
Like how
something
to, yeah,
outside of her, a regular thing, and that's what made her get color or whatever. And this one, there was no actual like reveal, or there was no like reward for, I guess, converting others, if you want to call it that, converting them into self-aware characters. That's kind of what
yeah,
he did. He made the other ones self-aware as well. He's like, hey guys, I know how this is gonna sound, but we're in a video game, and he kind of breaks the
yeah,
rules.
yeah. I like that, like something just simple as glasses is what made like
Oh
that was the only
yeah.
difference, you know. I mean, obviously, besides they were running around big guns doing all this crazy shit, but it was like the glasses were the key to everything, which was pretty interesting. And even how he got the glasses the first time, you
Mhm.
know. But like talking about like freeing other people, the first time he tried to free his friend Buddy, which is Little Ray, who's a security guard at the bank,
Mhm.
and he leveled up. He was getting like guy was getting like stronger, and he goes back into the bank to free Buddy, and he like some guy comes in with the gun and like he turns it on him real quick and shit and takes his glasses and tries to give it to him, but he couldn't. He's like I can't. He goes I he just didn't know how to not be what he was made to be. which is like it kind of like like sucks. It's like not everyone is always open minded, and then somebody you might have to like, hey, you're gonna like this, trust me, but they're like, nope, 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 So that was like pretty interesting, but it was pretty cool. It was like he just like jumped right into it. It was like he put the glasses on. It was just like boom, like got the heel thing, got the he got the money with the shoes were hilarious. Like that was a good thing. But yeah, it was like even every time he died, it was just a reboot. So like Groundhog Day too, it's like
yep, I did think of that. Yeah, that too.
Groundhog Day, not as much, ish, but the whole like never dying kind of thing
and waking up in bed again.
Yeah, for sure. Same exact kind of thing. But that's kind of like a movie trope that's been played out. But yeah,
true. The cool thing is that this movie played all those little like gimmicks that have happened in other movies, and it felt organic. I didn't feel like it copied them so bad. They did their own thing, and I like it. I didn't feel like, oh, they stole that. Like, no. I didn't. They made their own spin on that same gimmick. Like that's what I felt. So I give them a thumbs up for that one.
Yeah, I like when they do stuff like that. I know that Tom Cruise movie, where he dies and comes back and they're fighting a war or something like that. Emily Blunt's in it as well. But it was very much like Groundhog Day, but with war, and I wind up really liking that movie, So I was like, if you could take a premise, like an idea of thing like, hey, you can never die. You're going to repeat the same day every single day. Which Groundhog Day is like the best that's ever done that. Yeah. But if you're able to take that idea and just make it your own, I think that it always works out. And this one took like you said, a bunch of different ideas and put them together and made it its own. And it was really, really interesting. But yeah, so I was going somewhere with the glasses and I had a brain fart. But so yeah, at the end, the big boss is Dude, which is a dummy version, big buffed out dummy version of Ryan Reynolds' character Guy. So instead of Guy, he's Dude. But he's very kind of idiotic, kind of unfinished. That's what they said.
Yes.
He even had a tattoo of the blue shirt because throughout the whole movie they call him the blue shirt guy because that's the name of his character. He's the blue shirt guy.
Yep.
So they had a little tattoo of the blue shirt. So yeah, he's like they're fighting and doing like the final boss kind of styles, in the video game thing, and he puts the glasses on. And in the glasses, that's where you can pick all your like power ups and stuff. So as he's coming doing the like finishing blow, I think they called it, like it was this crazy like punch, like jump punch thing.
Yeah.
He puts up the shield, and it's like Captain America shield. And I was like, oh, and then even cuts to a bunch of different people. They're like, oh my God. It cuts to Chris Evans saying like, what the shit, or something along that line. I'm like, that's hilarious. That's great. So stupid because they don't, obviously they can't reference it. I mean, now I'm sure they can, but it's like, that was so good. But they played the music with the Avengers, and then like
he got the other hand.
Yeah, the other hand's the Hulk hand. Oh man! And then like once Guy's getting the hang of the fight, he grabs a lightsaber and even plays like the Star Wars music.
Yeah.
And everyone was all like hyped with that. It was so cool. But talking about like freeing people, he's also an NPC, and he gets the glasses knocked off. Blah blah blah. Little Ray comes and tries to help him. I thought Little Ray was gonna put the glasses on. I thought that would have been pretty good. It's like,
damn,
like he's gonna become a better person, change to help his friend.
Yeah.
But instead of doing that, he just threw it back to Ryan Reynolds. So I was like, oh, come on. Yeah. He puts it on, and then the next best thing, I guess he put the glasses on Dude. And then Dude saw all the shiny things that only the players can see. Yes. And it kind of threw him off, and he was like start swinging around a pole. He's all dancy, like happy and stuff like that. So it was like, I'm like, oh, that's not. I still would have preferred Little Ray putting on the glasses and becoming a badass. Yeah. But like him freeing the bad guy, and it is like, hey, you're in the same boat as me. Yeah. Check it out. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But
Mm.
Yeah, man, it was pretty good, pretty good with the way the big fight at the end was. Um, any last like good things, good bad things, all that stuff before we get into some reviews?
No, no, we can move on. I think
You
we've kind
want
of said
to move
everything
on?
worth saying.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think there's too much more. So, you want to let everyone know how we review things here?
Yeah. Let's do it. So here at the Spoiler Kings, we like to review movies in a certain way. That's you review it either one of three ways. You review it now, it's a watch later, or a watch never. If you rate it a watch now, that means you have to watch it right now, or else you're gonna miss out on the hype. If it's a watch later, that means it's okay film, but it's not worth your time right now. And if it's a never, that means don't even give this movie a chance. Let me start first. Usually you
Go
start.
for it. Yeah.
So for me, watching Free Guy, I want to give this film a watch now and not again. So like I loved watching it. It flowed so great, and I liked seeing all the little like tidbits of like Marvel and all these cool little side distractions. Um, it was great. So definitely give it a now just for the storyline, the plot, good flow of the movie. Definitely. What about you, man? What you think about the film?
Man, so for me, this is like something I was like really like trying to figure out like kind of all day today. Ever since I watched the movie, I was like, it's really somewhere in between now and later. But I probably got to go more now, watch it now because it was really well done, like you said, and it took all these tropes that people are familiar with and made it its own and just had fun with it. That was the big thing. It was just like Ryan Reynolds just being Ryan Reynolds, kind of goofy, funny thing. It was so good. So, but I also agree with you. It's kind of not worth a rewatch. You know, maybe if you got nothing else on TV and it comes out and you want to watch it again. But I mean, I wouldn't go to theaters again to see it. You know,
No.
but but I would give it a now. But for me, it's like barely squeezing into the now. It didn't blow my mind, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So yeah,
Okay.
man, this was one that was hard for me to like kind of review.
Same.
Like,
You kind of took the words right out of my mouth. It was for me like when I was first watching the film, beginning of the film, which how goofy it was, and what I was seeing, I was like, oh, it's a never. Then it moved to a later because I saw how they were piecing the movie, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. And then at the end of the film, I was left at a now just because of how, like I said, how everything just flowed together so nice. It was funny. It had great progression, and I forgot how long the movie was. You know, a movie's good
yeah,
when you forget how long it is or how long you've been in the theater. So,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. A 2 hour or an hour 55 minute runtime. I don't know if that makes a difference.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, man. Like, I don't think I ever gave it a never because right when it first started, I was enjoying it.
mm,
It was just like for me, it's like it was enough funny parts where I'm like, okay, watch it now, watch it now. Um, but Rotten Tomatoes gave it 82%. So it is technically certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. But the
dang,
audience score gave it a 95%, which really kind of like, I'm like, wow.
really.
Like, I'm like, I don't think it's that good,
I don't think so either.
for a 95%, you know. I mean, even like one of the audiences, like one of the top voted one, is Free Guy's an all around good time with funny Ryan Reynolds performance, leading an exciting story and some impressive special effects. The special effects, like with his face on the big buff guy who was played by Aaron Reed,
Yes.
it looked for me. It felt a little off, and that's just like that's never gonna change. I don't think you can get as good as you can with deep fakes, but that uncanny valley will always be there.
Mm,
Always be there. You can make it better, but it was good, but it just off slightly.
okay.
But
Yeah.
but the rest of the effects I thought were amazing. So let's get into some of the quick reviews. I'm trying to find somebody that was good. See. My God, is there any like high reviews on this thing? Here, top critic from the Observer in the UK said there are parallels with everything from the Lego Movie to the Matrix, but key to its appeal is unabashed sweetness and goofy enthusiasm that proves irresistible. Exactly, man. Like it takes everything from all these different. I didn't even think about the Matrix.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the thing too. It's like these guys are like plugged into this world that was made, by
Yep.
somebody else. So interesting.
Can see that.
Man, there's a lot of usually. Holy shit! I'm trying to find a bad review.
Really, you can't find one.
Here we go. Rolling
Okay.
Stone, of course, because they're super bougie. Said it operates on the high concept notion of a non-playable character experiencing an existential crisis. Man, I'm like bad. But only has a delivery system for your standard blockbuster. So I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a standard blockbuster. I think it was. I think it was a little bit more than a standard blockbuster. I don't know what that means, but I guess it's still a blockbuster. So it's a good. Maybe I don't know.
They kind of worded it weird.
Yeah. Like I said, Rolling Stone, they're always got to be like bougie. But I mean that's it. It operates on the high notion. I don't know, or high concept, which I don't know if he's being like sarcastic, of a non-playable character experiencing external existential crisis, which I'm like, that's exactly what the movie is. They didn't like that. That's not anything they were like trying not to be. So I was like, so it seemed, I don't know. But
hit it right in the nail, the head of the nail. But
yes, this other one said Free Guy plays a hollow game. I don't know. And then New York Magazine, another bad one. For a film that doesn't have an original bone in its body, Free Guy is surprisingly terrible. Good isn't the word, though.
Wow. Tough critics.
Yeah, but I was like, so it's for me, it's like he's right with it doesn't have an original bone in its body. Because like we said, we had all these like Truman Show, Lego Movie, Pleasantville, all these different like ones that came up in our heads, Matrix, we both were like, oh yeah, that kind of, but I don't know. It's like a lot of those things have been done before, so it's like, it's hard to do something that's not like that is actually original, but I was like, if you're able to take that idea and make it into something different, isn't that original? And I felt like this one was kind of like that.
I mean, take a look at what works in Japan, right? We've been doing it for years. We stole the Power Rangers. We stole so many concepts from other cultures and whatnot. So as long as you can like make a spin on something and make it cool, then I won't even question you. Just like this film, I didn't really question why they took all these little knickknacks. Like it worked. If it works, then I'm not gonna be mad. I'm not gonna question you. If it like is real shitty and like you do a film like you know what, I have nothing. But if you do just a really bad film with all the successful gimmicks and you fail, then you deserve to just burn to the ground.
Yeah. Well, like just because we did Suicide Squad last week, or the Suicide Squad, but the original Suicide Squad had a lot of those gimmicks, and it was probably still to this day one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And they tried doing all those like gimmicks, and it didn't work. It did not work. Where this one took a lot of gimmicks and played it perfectly.
Okay.
So I don't know, man. I thought it was pretty good, but like I said, it was this one was a hard one. I'm like, where do I go? Where do I stand with this one?
It wasn't easy to rate this film. I don't think it was that easy. You gotta like see it as a whole. You can't like, you can like, I know a lot of films you'd be like, man, this movie was so good because it had this favorite part and this favorite part. Bam, you can't do it with this film. You gotta, for me, I rate it as a whole from start to finish.
That's really true. That's really, really true.
Because if you rate this movie off of my favorite parts, then I probably rate it later even. But just the whole, like I'm kind of rating it as like a symphony. You know, you don't pick your different elements that make it cool. I see them all together, and I'm like, okay, I see, director, what you were trying to do, and we thank you for that.
Yeah. I really agree. That was like exactly has to be the whole thing. But cool, man. Anything else before any final thoughts before we start ending it?
No. Just follow us. You show them the links, bro. Show them the links.
Yeah. So right here, man. So the morning, where we at? Spoiler Kings, dude. I am completely off today. Spoiler Kings are part of the Nerd Huddle. So you want to make sure you follow us here. Spoiler Kings movie review link is in the description, and then also you want to follow the Nerd Huddle, where we got Penn and Grizzly every Tuesday with Chicago Bears stuff. Wednesdays, Dynasty Pylon. They do your Dynasty and IDP fantasy football. Thursdays, Did We Just Become Best Friends, where we talk about trending. And then Sundays, we do the Morning Spike, where we do fantasy football, just regular fantasy football, and your NFL updates. And then every Monday, right here, Spoiler Kings. All the links for all the channels down in the description. You want to give all of these guys, all of us, you know, because we bounce around in all the different shows.
Hell yeah.
Give us some love. We are at 98 freaking subs on Nerd Huddle. 2 more. Come on. I think we're gonna do a giveaway at 100. We'll do a giveaway at 100. You know, we'll do like they can pick their whatever they want off of the merch store, something like that. But next week I don't have anything on the schedule because I don't know if anything too good was coming out. I know a lot of things are moving around movie wise.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But I know Candyman is coming up for us for sure. Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings, Venom, that's coming out too. So, you know, you guys want to stick around with that. Hopefully nothing gets pushed back again like Venom did. But yeah, next week we'll let you guys know on if you follow us on Facebook what we're doing next week. But cool, man. I think that is it from us this week. Make sure you follow Will on TikTok and all that stuff, man. You put up some funny TikToks.
I'm so close, man. I'm so close to 5,000 followers.
5,000, dude.
Yeah,
come on,
man.
Go follow him over there. Link for Will's down in the description too. So make sure you follow Will on TikTok.
Clickety-clack.
Yeah, some good ones. But cool, man. That is it from us this week, and we will see you guys next week. Later.
Woo.